Back. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle, and I think this might be our last show until the end of the year. I kind of made that decision today. I'm like, do I? Do I not? I don't know, but we're going to do it. And today we just decided last minute we're going to do our best stuff. Okay, so it's going to be the biggest smash hits on this channel as far as what you guys love to see. Lo and behold, it's a lot of music video reactions. We have King Von, Little Durk, Pooh Shiesty, Shiesty. Oops, I said that wrong. Sorry, don't come for me. But anyway, we're gonna talk about all the things. We might even include the Will Smith slap because that was a big one on this video or on this channel, I should say, as well. But anyway, as we're checking in, hi everybody in the chat. Make sure to drop where you checking in from, what time is it, and of course, how you doing. So I'm excited to kind of rewatch some of these videos. It's going to be fun because I haven't actually watched them since we premiered them, and obviously some of these are really old. But they're so fun, I know, to watch, and I find myself watching stuff like this. So anyway, we're gonna have a fun time. And for those of you who are new to this channel, I know that it's gonna be the first time that you're seeing it. So hello, going to the chat. Let's see what's going on. Hi, everyone. Hello. Where's the gavel? Let's see. I got the gavel. Don't you worry about it. Hey. All right. Hey. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Are you guys excited for the holidays? Let me see. What do I have going on? It's my birthday, which actually I think was a great mistake that we're not doing a show next week because, as part of birthday week, which is a thing, I could be sharing it with you guys. This is live. And in fact, I'm here clicking stuff. I don't know if I should be clicking stuff, but I'm trying to click stuff. In any case, yeah, so it's birthday week for me on Wednesday. My birthday's on the 21st, and I'm gonna be, a year older or something. I don't know how this works, but it should be fun. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna see the fam. We do Boxing Day. So, which is nice because then you can avoid all the Christmas fiasco. So it's the day after Christmas, and my mom's from New Zealand. So it's a thing that they do in New Zealand. So it's a thing that we do here. But in any case, my mom's trying to do something new. She sent out an email to everyone via her newsletter, which I thought was funny. So she sends out the newsletter to the family and she goes, hey, we're having Boxing Day. Here's the time. Here's the location. And then for those of you brave enough, we're going to have, what did she call it? Like a recital. So she goes, whoever wants to like play a piano song or do a singing thing, that this will be your big opportunity. So she's trying to get all of us, like, we all know music. That's how we grew up. So she's trying to get it to be a big thing. And I'm like, I don't know. Should I do a song? And if I do, which one should I do? And then so I was kind of playing around on the piano the other day, and I was like, maybe I'll do a little cover. Maybe I'll do like my weekend cover or something. Now, speaking of covers, I am going to be talking about how to do cover songs legally. This is something that I touch on every year. So this will be the third year now. But I touch on this every year because it's such a hot topic. Anyone who does music, if you are a music business, a record label, an artist, you need to know how to post your cover songs. Thank you very much. You need to know how to post cover songs legally. So we're going to be covering that in the show because, of course, there are updates. So we'll be going through that, and we'll do that at the tail end of the show. Now, we may or may not actually watch a video too. I don't know. We're talking about cover songs. Mr. Producer, what do you think? Let's do the Evanescence cover. And why don't we change it? I'm not going to do my standard intro today. And maybe for the intro, we're going to do the actual cover song. That way we can all, kind of get settled in. And then when we come back, I'll just bring that Orko in, Mr. Producer. And we're going to jump into looking at the most popular videos on Top Music Attorney in 2022. And then we'll be talking a little bit about the vision for the show. There's going to be changes. My plan is that I want to like shock you guys so that by the time we come back, it's going to be a whole new thing. It's going to be a whole new look. It's going to be a whole new, I'm very excited for what we're doing. So for those of you who are here, I love your faces. I'm very excited. Go back to this. Yes. And if you are just checking in, as always, where are you checking in from? What time is it? So Mr. Producer, why don't we run the cover song? This is Evanescence. We love Evanescence. We talk about what they're doing when they have updates. We love Amy Lee, so this was my cover of Call Me When You're Sober. Don't cry to me if you love me. You would be here with me. You want me, come find me. Make up your mind. Should I let you fall, lose it all, so maybe you can remember yourself? Can't keep believing we're only deceiving ourselves, and I'm sick of the lie. And you're too late. Don't cry to me if you love me. You would be here with me. You want me, come find me. Make up your mind. Couldn't take the blame, sick with shame. Must be exhausting to lose your own game. Selfishly hated, no wonder you're jaded. You can't play the victim this time, and you're too late. Don't cry to me if you love me. You would be here with me. You want me, come find me. Make up your mind. You never call me when you're sober. You only want it 'cause it's over. It's over. How could I have burned paradise? How could I? You were never mine. So don't cry to me if you loved me. You would be here with me. Don't lie to me, just get your things. I've made up your mind. This made me laugh. Mr. Producer, I find you guilty for absolutely killing it. Hey, stop it. Some of my favorite things to do is when I post like TikToks, I'll go through and I'm specifically looking because some of you are so creative and you say the most funny things in the comments. So I'm always looking for something because if someone gives me something good, I can react to it, make it a whole bit. So I appreciate you guys because you make me smile if nothing else. Okie dokie. So we're gonna talk about the cover song sings, but we're gonna do that later in the show. Before we get into that, I'm going to bring in that Orko here in a second. I made a note. What was my note? Oh yeah. So as I was watching that, I was like, oh, just kind of how far I've come this year, even as a singer when I was doing that song. Obviously, Amy Lee has an incredible voice, and that song is definitely not an easy song to sing. And I'm such an advocate for going through courses for things that you want to learn, even if it's like self-improvement stuff. So definitely like investing in yourself. And this year I did a singing course and it just was amazing. It was like 2 months, found the time, did it, committed, all this stuff. And it just made me such a better singer because I realized all the crap I was doing wrong. So even this You know, at this stage in my career, even though I've been singing for a long time, you still can learn a lot of things. So invest in yourself. All right, with that being said, let's bring in that Orko and see what's happening. And we're going to get into watching the most popular videos from Top Music Attorney here shortly.
Hey, shout out to the community. Thank you guys so much for being here. Very excited. Finishing out the year, finishing out 2022. If you guys are watching from other platforms, we are broadcasting out to Facebook and LinkedIn, a couple different pages, but make sure that you're joining us over on the YouTube at Top Music Attorney. That's where all the material kind of stems from, and that's where we really want you guys to join us. And also remember that you can listen to the podcast anytime on wherever you listen to podcasts, the audio version. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, etc.
Yeah, we'll have some stuff for you, by the way. You know, this is the last live stream for the year, but we'll cut up some stuff. We'll have things for you.
Oh yeah, there's still material.
But to his point, if you want to hear my voice speaking to you while you drive, you know, why not? And you want to learn about the music business, listen to the pod. This one made me smile. Oops. Damn it, I'm trying to click this. Mr. Zap Rose Dower says, I don't have anything clever to say, but that was incredible. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, did a great job on that. I love that that version we did. It's totally different from the original. I don't know if there's a lot of Evanescence kids out there, but
yeah, you gotta love it. All right, so like I said, what we're gonna do in this segment is we're gonna be going through playing some of the most popular videos from the channel, which happened to be music video reactions that I did. Now,
right.
I did not do this as much kind of in the second half of the year, but these are just so fun and they always perform well, and I understand why they did really well. But in any case, I was looking in the search, and I saw people were searching for stuff that we didn't even cover. So people want to see this. So I know you guys are gonna love this. I figured just to keep it super casual. I wanted to bulk because we did a few artists. We did like multiple videos from a few different artists. So for the first kind of section, let's talk about King Von. Okay, so King Von, we did a few videos, and the first one was, I believe, Took Her to the O. Let me go to this.
Great song.
Great song. And I can't remember, was this the first one that we had done?
I think it was the first one that we did.
All right, let me go over to this, and I'm going to bring it in. I thought I had it up. And the nice thing is that, you know, some of these artists are or were, in King Von's case, massive artists. And, you know, nonetheless, some of them, it was the first time I had the opportunity to kind of explore their catalog. And the rest is history. All right, let me go over to this, skipping the intro. All right, Took Her to the O, King Von. Let me pull this in. Here we go. Oop, try again. Sorry.
Top music attorney school.
In the chat, let me know if we're good. The audio's okay.
Got a drop on this flexing nigga. He from Tennessee. I had a thought. She be with this shit. She told me where he be. I say for sure.
All right, so he got some information from this girl on this guy who's from Tennessee. And as a little behind the scenes, I did watch an interview where King Von was talking about the lyrics. And he goes, when he was writing this song, Tennessee or being from Tennessee is fictional. He's like, I don't know why I wrote that. But as far as whether the rest of what we're about to hear is a true story, we don't know that. Now, the title of this song and the video is Crazy Story. So oops, I clicked actually the wrong one. We're listening to Crazy Story. We're starting with that one because I clicked it. We're gonna do Took Her to the O next, but we're doing them together.
I'm on mute, so I didn't want to start talking and start echoing as soon as the video played. But yeah, I was going to tell you that's not Took Her to the O. But that's all right.
Funny. That's funny. If we do a recap of this, Mr. Editor watching, you could just take out, you know, the mistake. But in any case, one thing I do want to point out is that this was when we had the other background at the beginning of the year. Now we're going to be changing the background again because I'm always evolving, you know, got to change. And this one was a lot darker. So here, let's take a look. This one's a lot darker. I don't know. What do you guys like? In the chat, give me some feedback. Anyway, let's keep going. Tell me if you like the current background better or if you like the darker background. All right, let's keep going. Writing something that actually happened. Is it fictional? Let's continue.
Baby, let me know if you wanna eat. She like Vaughn, you already know. Just put your girl on fleek. I'm like, cool, I can do that, boo. What you want? Some shoes? Jimmy Choo with a handbag too. Red up, baby blue. She gets a smile. She ain't used to this, cause she ain't used to shit. I'm just laughing. Could've been a pimp the way I move my lips.
Could have been a pimp the way I moved my lips. King Von also talked about how he spent a lot of time in jail, and it became incredibly important of how he was speaking to women, because he says the only thing that you can do in jail is speak to women, writing letters, having phone calls, and so it's very important how you communicate, and then also in gift giving. So in this instance, he's close with this person and he's giving her gifts, he's making her happy, and now she's kind of cooperating and helping him now in what he's about to do and where the story is going. You gotta look nice to the lady.
The way I push the whip, you a hoe. Could have been a bitch the way you throw a fit. But fuck that, right back to the script, cause this a major lick. He got bricks, plus his neck and
This a major lick, right? So this isn't just a robbery. All right, so when I react to music videos, just so you guys know, I usually do research because there'll be words. I'm like, a major lick. What is that? So, just so you know, since they're pre-recorded, I'll be like, when he says a major lick, it's clearly the dealer and all this stuff. So just so you know, I do research because I might not be up to, speed on things. But you're pretty good. You're pretty good of knowing and filling me in.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those, like, I'm with her on the side, and I'm like going, oh, this is what this means, or that's what that means, to help her out, or we're looking for stuff that we don't know. But we learned a lot of the backstory, because we really want you, when we do the music video reactions, we really want to be like informed of it, because she tries to come with a lot of like legal advice and just kind of things that, even though some of the videos that we cover, they're not literal situations, we try to treat the videos as if like this is actually real that's happening, and then she's reacting in the situation. So like we've also done.
Yeah, and I was gonna say with the particular series that we did, we were
Right.
looking at it from, snitching on yourself, right? So these rappers
Right.
who are talking about crimes. And so in this one, King Von, is he premeditating the crime, right? Is he telling
Right.
us what he did? So that's the analysis as we're going through this. So let's go back. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Is basically what he's trying to say. He's actually going to be robbing it sounds like a drug dealer. He's talking about bricks, right? So drugs. So this is kind of a bigger deal. It's not just randomly robbing someone. He is planning this robbery, and it's for a lot of money. And so in kind of the planning of this process, we now know King Von is involved, and we know that this woman is also involved with him. And so she's helping to plan. And so whatever happens from here, let's say someone ends up not just getting robbed, but maybe someone gets hurt. Maybe someone gets killed. And so whatever ends up happening, whether it's at the hand of King Von or otherwise, she now participated in the commission of those crimes, and she can be held liable as well.
And it matches wrist, now it's like 6. Told her hit his phone, meet her in the whip, but he ain't go. But he ain't that slow, say meet him at the store. I'm like, cool, let him run his move. Do what he gon' do, cause this the plot. Put him in a pot, let it cook like stew. I grab my Glock, it been through a lot, but it's this shoe like new, we at the top. Yeah, we lost a lot, but that just...
So this is not only just gonna be a robbery, but it's a robbery with a deadly weapon. And when there's a deadly weapon used in the commission of the crime, it makes the charges and the sentencing so much worse if you get caught. If you get caught. All right, so that's the first one that we'll do, right? Which was actually the second King Von video. Sorry about that. I just keep opening stuff that isn't right. So let me find the other one. What do you got there? What do you got there? Gizmo? Oh, guys, this is Gizmo. He's my little bear.
He broke in.
He does that, I gotta appreciate his tenacity. Because it's like an hour before dinner time, and he's just letting you know.
Yeah, he's reminding me that's about to get started. Oh, I got the other one in here now too.
Now with King Von, and we'll talk about this if I get to it in the other video. Yes, here it is. So unfortunately, King Von was shot in a drive-by. And, for someone so young, and it was, kind of prolific in what he was doing and his star rising. I mean, you can have a whole conversation about, the waste of time, the waste of all this gang violence, but then how it's so intertwined. with part of the person rising to stardom,
Yeah.
right? Because they get that street credibility because they're talking about crimes that they've committed. So therefore they are usually committing crimes. And so that's something that we kind of talk about in these videos. But in any case, so took her to the O. This was the actual first one that we reacted to. Now, again, was this the first one ever for a music video reaction?
I don't
wanna
know.
say
It wasn't.
was.
I don't know if it was the first video. It might have been. It might have been. I know we did like 3 in one day because we bulk did them, but I don't know which one we actually did first or released first.
Okay, so in this one, and here I'm put this in. This is my bringing in the white. I didn't used to wear white very often, but I'm on this dark background. You can't see me. So here's the white. Took her to the O. Let's go.
Been here for 4 weeks, and you've yet to tell me a thing. It's now or never.
This off the record, right?
Yes.
So he's been coming here for 4 weeks, he said. We don't know what this is. Is he meeting with a psychologist? Is he meeting with an attorney? But it's been 4 weeks, and he said, this is off the record, right? So that gives, this is a meeting with a professional of some kind. So the way that it works, if you're meeting with an attorney, you have attorney-client privilege. Doesn't matter if you've retained their attorney or not. If you are telling that attorney stuff about your case, you still have that privilege of confidentiality. If you're meeting with a medical provider, same thing. Now it's just a patient-doctor relationship. I think this is probably an attorney. I'm getting kind of that vibe with the books in the background, but we'll see. Yeah, and I mean, look, let's just say, so when I have, meetings with my clients, sometimes, oh, who is that now, Ripley? So this is Ripley. She's the one that gets all of your, was it super chats? All
Yeah,
the
no,
super chats go
she
to
was
her.
tearing up the table over here, and so I was trying to get her off there because they both broke in, and then she was just going nuts on the table.
Junior Ash asks, off the record, does that mean it's a lawyer thingy? I'm not a lawyer person. Good question. So off the record, typically we're doing that when we're like talking not just in a legal capacity, but to someone who has an obligation. Otherwise, like even if you're talking to newsy people, right? So you can say as your ethical obligation, I'm going to say something to you. It's off the record though. So, please don't say it. But when you're talking to a professional, right, in a confidential kind of capacity, if it's a doctor, if it's a lawyer, they do actually have a obligation to keep what you say confidential, and you don't have to be a client, all right? Little professional tip right there. If there's an expectation that you're talking to an attorney, whether you hire them or not, if you say something, they have to keep it confidential. So don't feel like you need to go and pay them and sign a retainer, agreement. So anyway, let's go back to it. It does seem like he's talking to a lawyer, and we discuss that further in the video.
Why do dermatologists
So this is a really exciting part of the video where he's like, you need to get your skin taken care of right away. All right, there we go. I really like this song, by the way. Okay, we just saw Lady Justice, so he's definitely meeting with an attorney, and he has something he needs to tell her.
Just got some top from this stripper bitch. She from Kanka, she just brought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me.
All right, so he said, and I literally have the lyrics written right here because I wanted to make sure that I knew what he was saying, but I kind of had to look up a few of these words. So he got some top, he got head from a girl, and just bought a Glock with a ruler clip, so that's the extended magazine. So this is how he's starting the song.
Bitch a hoe, met her at the store. You know how it goes, she wanna smoke. So I bought some dope and took her to the O. Just got some top from this stripper bitch. She from Kanka, she just brought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me.
All right, I think it's clear what's happening from the visuals, and he goes, I took her to the O, and that's his neighborhood, so that's where he's from.
This bitch a hoe, met her at the store. You know how it goes, she wanna smoke. So I bought some dope and took her to the O. We in the car, she don't live that far. Say she left her person named Church. You know, wanna play it. We can go there first, I busted you. Pulled up to her spot. She live by the park, it's getting dark. My Glock on my lap. I'm just thinking smart, so she.
So the Glock is on his lap. He's just thinking smart. He's taking her somewhere. We don't know what's going to be happening, but it almost seems like he's preparing for some kind of interaction, potentially an altercation. Well, now I'll add on to that. I'll add on to what Miss Top Music Attorney had to say there. Yeah, I mean, if you have a weapon, it's in your lap, conceivably, loaded, and you're going to some place, right? you got to be careful because obviously we have all kinds of gun rules, right? Concealed weapons. Can you have it in general? Did you register the weapon? But then also, if something then happens, right? And you have a deadly weapon with you, that can enhance the penalty that comes as a result significantly. Okay. So if you have a gun and you're not basically setting yourself up to be like, I was defending myself, which is something we get into a lot in these videos, right? So it's, what was the intent? If you did shoot someone, did you shoot to kill them? And if you did kill them and you didn't intend to shoot them, was it in self-defense? Because if it was, now you have kind of justification. All right, going back. And of course, the other piece just being that if you have a weapon, let's say, is it registered? Is it not registered? What are the rules in your state? That can be problematic if you get pulled over. But let's keep it going.
She switching this shit. This bitch thinking shit. She got 2 minutes. If she ain't back out, then she gon' need a lift. She left her phone, so I picked it up. This hoe slow as fuck. Now miss calls, 3 of them for mom, the other 6 say duck. Now I look up and I see a truck. It's just pulling up. Someone hopped out. A big goofy nigga. He trying to look tough. I'm like, what? What he trying to do?
There's a guy coming up.
But he kept walking. He don't want no smoke, boy. He not bulletproof. He's got
All right, so he took her somewhere. She left her phone in the car. He sees someone else pulling up, and it sounds like there's potentially going to be, again, some kind of altercation. He doesn't seem to like this person.
From this stripper bitch, she from Kankakee, just brought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me, this bitch a hoe. Met her at the store, you know how it go. She wanna smoke, so I bought some dope and took her to the oak. Just got some top from this stripper bitch. She from Kankakee, just brought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me, this bitch a hoe. Met her at the store, you know how it go. She wanna smoke, so I bought some dope and took her to the oak. As she walk out, she stop in the track, she get the stepping back, then I hit smack. This big goofy nigga, he pulling her tracks, I wanna help, but this ain't my hope. You know how it go.
I want to help. Let's talk about this because I don't think I touch on it in the video. So people will ask, I've gotten calls about this saying, if I'm aware of a crime being committed, what's my obligation? Or if I see it, do I have to do something? Am I going to get into trouble if I don't intervene or if I don't report it? So let's talk about just the intervention. He sees this chick. Let's pretend she's about to get beaten to a pulp, right? And so he knows something bad's happening and he's going to go to her defense. He can go to her defense, right? And then he can do what he needs to do. And then he can claim self-defense of another person as well as himself. But does he have an obligation to help? We can say maybe he's a shitty boyfriend, side piece, whatever he is.
Right.
He doesn't intervene, but in most states, it's called a Good Samaritan law. In most states, you don't have a Good Samaritan law that says you got to intervene.
Like in Seinfeld.
What's that?
The final episode of
Which one?
Seinfeld. The final episode of Seinfeld where they're watching the crime getting committed and then they have to go spend time in jail altogether.
That's right. The great end of Seinfeld. Right, exactly. You see someone drowning. Do you have to save them? Right? Because the other thing too is we know sometimes even law enforcement, and this happened actually in our own state, there was someone drowning. Law enforcement did not jump in to help the person and the person drowned. Right? And so you go, well, even if it's someone in that position, there's risk. So anyway, not to go too far off on a tangent, let's go back. So he says this guy walks up to her, he pulls on her tracks, her hair, and he goes, I need to go, but I have her phone. And I think in the lyrics, he actually says, like, she's basically not his girl. He doesn't care. It's not his problem.
Rude.
She get loose, she run to my car, so I hit the lock, toss to her phone. So shorty, I'm gone, bitch, you on your own. But here come Goofy, he hollering this shit, yelling about the bitch, picked up a brick. He merged it on brick and threw it at my whip. Now I'm like shit, I hopped out so quick, then I raised my blick and I don't miss. I let off 2 shots, I hit him in this shit. Now Bunty quick, what you?
All right, so this guy throws a brick at the car, obviously destruction of property, endangerment of life, but then his reaction to then get out of the vehicle and fire off 2 shots at this person. I'm assuming he makes contact. Number 1, probably significant indifference to human life. Number 2, often we can claim self-defense, and we'll say, well, if someone was trying to shoot us, we can protect ourselves or protect others, and we can exercise the same amount of force and shoot them. But in this case, was shooting your gun, discharging your weapon twice, a equal amount of force to having a brick thrown at your car? Obviously, I think in this case, the answer is no. But for example, if let's say the window of the vehicle had been down and someone is throwing a brick at someone's head and trying to actually inflict bodily harm, that's a different kind of story. In this exact sequence, we saw the brick was thrown at the vehicle. It hit the window, and then he got out and he shot the other person.
Finna do, cause this gon' make the news, gotta make your move. Told that bitch get in, cause she looking confused. I broke the rules, cause this bitch a witness. Plus I just popped through, but she ain't crying. Plus this hoe is smiling, and this bitch look cute. So we slide out, I'm checking my mirrors, made it to the
This
house.
beat is so fire. Need to know who produced it. I know you're mad because I smoked your man. So he just admitted not only did he shoot him, but it sounds like there was a fatality.
Started laughing, she say fuck that nigga. He from 63rd, just got some top from the stripper bitch. She from Kanka, she just brought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me, this bitch a hoe. Met her at the store, you know how it go. She wanna smoke, so I bought some dope. Took her to the oak, just got some top from the stripper bitch. She from Kanka, she just brought a Glock with a ruler.
So I like how just in that scene we see that I'm gonna go back. We see the attorney. She's now let down her hair, and she seems to be dancing and vibing with her client. Which is great. Look, you want to vibe with your client? You know, ever since we reacted to this video, I always was like, you know, I represent a lot of really famous musicians. I was like, someone needs to have me in their video. I need to be the attorney in someone's video, just playing that part. So anyway,
and it was produced by Chop Squad DJ.
Yeah, no, that's my feel good when it comes to like a really solid kind of hip hop beat, and then you have some high, whether it's like a bell or a piano. That little combo is just my favorite. You hear it a lot in my music and how that Orko produces our stuff. So in any case, if you want to watch the whole thing, we'll be sure to link it down in the description. But yeah, so that was a couple of the King Von reactions that I did. What do you say we move on to another artist?
Very cool.
Hey.
Make sure if you haven't yet, hit like on the stream and share us out. Help spread the word.
Okay, so I think why don't we do, because kind of close in time, we had Little Durk and then Pooh Shiesty, which I said totally wrong when you were out of the room, by the way, in the intro. I'm just gonna get destroyed later, but that's okay. So I think even in Pooh Shiesty's video, we see Little Durk. So why don't we start with Little Durk and then we'll do the next one. And you'll see, and I think I even call it out. I'm like, these videos look like they're produced by the same company. Isn't this the same company? But it is. All right, so this is Little Durk, Ahhh official music video.
Like videos, you hear me? Everything I'm saying in this motherfucker is all props.
This shit is not real.
Just in case the police listen, I'm not high speed music. Slide.
So he's given this little disclaimer at the front end of the video, and he's saying, just in case the police are listening, this isn't real. Basically, everything I'm about to say is fictional. Now he kind of laughs after he says that. So how seriously would that disclaimer actually be taken? We've talked about this in other videos where rappers in particular are kind of disclosing crimes or talking about crimes. And then, of course, we know that some of these artists then are charged with things like murder. And so when they have discussed it in their music, discussed it and shown different visuals in their music videos, sometimes their art, their music is used in a court of law against these artists. So will this little disclaimer be used to protect Little Durk from prosecution or issues of the song actually being used against him later on? I don't know, but hey, you gotta shoot your shot. So I'm taking the lyrics in a couple different ways. I mean, the first could be, don't respond about Von. Maybe he's getting kind of counsel from someone of don't. So we just talked about King Von. He said Von. That's who we're talking about. Don't escalate the situation. But later on in the lyrics, he's saying, but go get your gun. And I'm getting locations. And so I'm kind of taking it to mean not so much of don't escalate it, but more of you don't need to respond. Don't use your words, use your actions. And now we're going to go deal with this kind of like on the street. That's like mom's advice right there. Children, don't use your fists, right? Use your words.
Absolutely. And a lot of times that does work. A lot of times it doesn't, though.
Yeah. But then this goes back to the whole, you know, you're trying to get street cred, right? It's kind of part of just this process for, you know, some of these artists kind of going down this path. And so it seems like the right of entry is committing crimes and then talking about it, right?
Right.
And we've talked about this with the Rap Act, right? And not
Right.
to go into it too far, but basically, prosecutors can then use your lyrics against you. Okay.
And
And
it's
so the
and
Rap Act hopes to prevent prosecutorial use of lyrics against you. There are some exceptions, but they're trying.
that's a definitely that's a complicated issue because everything seems to be just working against like hip hop artists and stuff like that and different rappers. Um, a lot of the arguments, you don't hear any of these rock guys going to jail
Right.
for their lyrics or stuff like that. And I go, well, if you have, a country artist that gets in a DUI accident and he sings about drinking, I don't know, use it against him. I don't know. My point is, I think that you should just be careful of what you're saying. I think that just in lyrics anyway, you just don't want to draw attention to yourself. But um, I understand it's way more complicated than even I understand. So, but it just seems just kind of like common sense, like just stop self snitching and stop snitching on like your crew and your songs just for your own street clout, and you're naming other people in your crew. Like you're just diming them out. Like we know where the leak is in the crew. Like when we know where the leak is. You just dropped the song. You just told on everybody and kind of, I don't know. Stop self snitching in
back at
2023.
back at it.
I'm hanging with killers, we breaking a bond. They really don't mean it. He say it in songs. They really don't mean it. He play it in songs. We been
Again, I feel like he's saying me and my crew, we're going to go take action. We're killers. So this goes to, well, was that little disclaimer at the beginning of the video going to help him out? Well, if he actually goes and commits a crime, he gets arrested. Anything he talks about in this video, if he talks about what weapons he was using, if he talks about where he went, all that can still be used against him, even if he gave that little disclaimer at the beginning of the video. But then the other piece is that he's saying, me and my crew were killers. And so that goes to kind of the intent of he's going to go somewhere, he's going to do something, and intent definitely plays into the degree of seriousness of a charge that will be brought later on. Yeah, and that's what they're saying with the Rap Act. They're like, just because, you get someone for killing someone and then the prosecutor comes in and says, look, Your Honor, look, jury, right? He's a killer because in his lyrics he says he's a killer. And the idea
That's
is that
dumb.
we would say general kind of admissions, right? Painting a picture that this is a criminal guy or he hangs around criminals should not be used. But obviously direct admissions, I killed Tony at this time using this gun. I mean, obviously there can't be a complete exclusion because on the other side of it, they're saying, let's not protect these guys. If they're going to go commit crimes and talk about it in their music, let them take the fall.
I think it's super dangerous. Now, I think that if somebody that's trying to prosecute these rappers are just using a song and going, well, this is what the evidence that I have, and I'm just trying to go after these guys because they're saying it. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous that you would even try to base anything on a piece of art. But if you are just using it to add to like a character witness, or a character kind of assessment of, the defendant or something like that, and go, well, also he raps about it and just like to add to it where he said anything, but like you're not using that as your solid piece of evidence that you are hanging your case on. But I don't understand like why, when you're trying to build your the character of whoever is on in trouble or whatever, like you use kind of everything. Don't you interview their friends? Don't you talk to like all kinds of different things to build what kind of person this is? And I would assume that their music, if that's the biggest part of who they are and their image and persona, is going to be in there. Whether you're a rapper, whether you're a rock guy that's for drugs and for whatever, like but I think that trying to use it solely as your evidence and you're weighing your case on somebody's song, I think that's ridiculous. But I also think artists should stop self-snitching in 2023.
Up next, we're gonna look at Pooh Shiesty featuring Little Durk, and this is Back in Blood. This is another one of the very popular videos that you guys liked when we did Lawyer Reacts, so here we go.
Cherry production.
You know, we just saw a bunch of cash, and we made a point in the last video when Lil Durk had that stack of cash on his table for, you know, the production, just talking about the reality of when you have your friends or crew or whoever is there and you have real money and kind of like safety concerns. Do you have security? And what you guys said in the comments was there was like $1 million on the table, and, you know, no one took anything. And anyway, that's crazy when you actually have real money.
Shit in blood, bitch, I got my own fight, don't need security in the club. All they wolfing on the nigga, I thought.
Bitch, I got my own fire, don't need security in the club. So he's saying he is carrying his own weapon.
You was a thug. I ain't got nowhere to go. I shot up everywhere they was. Yeah, you know.
I shot up everywhere they was. So again, we talk about this when rappers and just artists in general put lyrics in their songs where they're admitting crimes. Now, he didn't say where it was yet. He didn't say where it was or how he did it, but he went and shot up some people somewhere. So that's not good as far as something that can be used against this artist later on if it turns out that there was a shooting somewhere and there were charges now against him. That's right, guys. If we're using specific information, we're providing specific information that can be used against you in a court of law. Now, on YouTube, we have a question. Is there a thing about your reputation in the community can't be used against you unless you make it relevant by saying you, in fact, have a great reputation in your defense? That's my understanding. I don't do criminal law. I just have more of an understanding of it generally. And, you know, as far as just going right to character, for example, you know, we've seen this come up with like sexual assault cases. We're not going to allow, you know, the other side to bring in a bunch of character stuff to be like, oh, she's this kind of person or he's this kind of person. They essentially deserved it. There are instances where it's just not appropriate. It can't come up, but there are instances where it does come up, in which case now, yes, we're looking at examples. People are testifying, my knowledge of this person. But typically, especially in the civil realm, it just doesn't matter because it's not relevant. And so it's not going to be included. So good question. Let's go back to this.
Bitch, come get it back in blood. We ain't mask up, no Dodger X, niggas know who it was. It's storing shit just like the 80s. Want some back, get it in blood. Yeah, you know who took that shit from you, come get it back in blood.
You ain't know who took that shit from you, come get it back in blood. And he has a so it's the gun. And I know this because I watched one of the interviews that he did, and when he went over that lyric, he was doing the little gun sign. I do my research, guys. You don't even know. You know, I'm looking at what everyone is wearing in this video. I'm looking at the cash. I mean, little Durk's chain alone is probably incredibly expensive. I'm wondering, is that because of a side hustle that these guys are into? Is this because the music career for each of them is incredibly profitable, which it absolutely can be. It's crazy. And that's when this conversation about when you do deals with record labels and record labels coming in and taking the majority share of your profits. But I mean, again, going back to this, there's a lot of money to be made if you can kind of grow your career the right way. That's right. And that, my friends, is literally the whole spiel on the channel and what I do. You learn how to do it yourself, be your own label so you can actually make money. Obviously, you have some illegal side hustle that's going to catch up with you. And then you're going to be one of these guys who just gets shot and you're dead when you're in your early 20s, or you go to jail, your life is over, like, you know, or it's a lot more difficult if you're in jail. I literally had one of my clients have his significant other email me this week, and she goes, hey, do you remember blah, 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 blah. He's in prison right now and he wants to have a meeting with you. He started his label, which I love. So, you know, it's not all over. I should correct that. We will make things happen for him. But in any case, do it the right way. Become your own business. I have a course on it. Links down somewhere. But, you know, I think there's a lot to be learned from these videos. Whoop.
You gotta know I go too far. Got 2 O's up on this honey. One of them might stand for old block. About 20 some shots left in the K15, still in the Glock.
What was that, the O block with the necklace?
We get up close, doing dirt, I ain't showing love. 11,000 all ones, let my right pocket in the club.
11,000 all ones left my right pocket in the club. I'm assuming he's talking about being at a strip club. And when it comes to dropping $11,000, really not that crazy. We covered with the whole Travis Scott Astroworld Festival tragedy and kind of what happened and transpired after that. And if you guys recall, Drake went to a strip club the following day and he dropped $1 million in cash. And there was just this crazy footage and pictures that came out. You could just see money all over the ground. Shout out to the ladies who got paid. Hey. All right, so there's another question. I want to answer this. What's the best way to market yourself if you aren't signed? Now, using, King Von, Little Durk, right? All of the people kind of, collaborating in this group. A lot of what's working for them is obviously being a part of the controversy, the drama, right? We have gang issues going on, but if you're kind of outside of that, I don't know why I just thought of Will Smith. I'm like, you're a Will Smith rapper, like trying to come up, and you got to get yourself promoted by figuring out how it's going to work for you. So if controversy and calling out other artists isn't your thing, that's okay. But then you have to still find your way. And sometimes doing that will be just being your genuine self, right? Niching down and having content and just pumping it out. My first question to you, who asked the question, Miss Queen Butterfly, is how much content are you putting out, right? And that's how many posts per day and how many platforms and how much variety, right? Are you doing 1 post a week on like 2 platforms, or are you doing like 2 posts every day across like 5 different platforms? So it's kind of like in figuring out how to market yourself, you got to figure out what works for you and what you want to do, and then you got to just go big. Volume makes the difference with social media. Posting as much as possible. And then as soon as you find that sweet spot of what people are responding to, you can start kind of doubling down on that. All right. So now let's move on. That was fun. Now, the big one, I would say. Tom MacDonald was an artist that I became aware of earlier this year. And it was because we were specifically focusing on independent artists. And so, becoming aware not only of him, but just the incredible fandom, the incredible success that he's created for himself, his relationship with Nova, and kind of digging into their catalog. So I figured we would touch on a couple of videos that did really well. There was one that kind of exploded when it had to do with kind of this issue he was having with reporting and getting on the Billboard charts. And for those of you who do follow him, you know what I'm talking about. And in fact, I just kind of did a video from my car that did really, really well. And it sparked a really great conversation about being an independent artist, the challenges. But in any case, let's talk about the actual music videos and we'll watch those for a second. So we're starting with the canceled music video because I'm forgetting which one we did first for him. So let's go back through and take a look.
I can't be canceled, there's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent, there's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors, let me help you with some. Yeah.
He's a racist, he's a sexist, he's in love with Donald Trump.
Y'all can't cancel me.
We talked a lot on the I Don't Care reaction video about the whole when people put identities on you and they tell you who you're going to be, or they're just kind of hating on you, they don't understand you, they're misinterpreting your lyrics and your message. If you guys missed that, be sure to check it out. I'll be sure to link it somewhere, or at least on the playlist down below. But he said, there's no label. They can't drop me. So to the sentiment of be your own boss, be your own company, be your own label if you want to.
My life is scandal.
Be your own label if you want to. That's right. And we did like at least 3. And then we did the Billboard one. And then we did like a follow-up to that one, I think. And then, both Tom as well as Nova reached out and, we chatted a little bit. It was so tough that they were kind of going through that. And it was cool, like I said, to kind of start the conversation a little bit on it. But I just remembered it was the music industry. That was the first one that we did. So we'll watch a little bit more of this, and then I'll go to that very first video that we had done on Tom MacDonald.
Free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses because the brand is me. My hands are clean. My family and my fans.
The brand is me.
Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak.
He talked about sponsors, right? So in a lot of contracts that artists sign, including with the label, they have what are called morality clauses. Morality clauses in these contracts, particularly with sponsors, say, hey, we're going to tie ourselves to you for a period of time, but At which point you do something that's a little too controversial, or we need to kind of separate ourselves from you, we can drop out of the deal. And so that's why you guys see when someone gets a little controversial, something happens, and now they're getting a lot of coverage in the news, and they'll get dropped from their brand deals. The reason brands can do that is because they have this morality clause that says if you do something that's going to cause public scorn, that we can back out of the deal. So he says, I don't have to worry about that because I'm not doing these deals. And one recent example that I can even give is Travis Scott. So the Astroworld Festival tragedy, we've been covering it at length. I'll definitely link that playlist if you guys want to check it out. But what happened is that after this festival, there was a loss of lives. Tons of people were injured. Tons of lawsuits were filed after that. So guess what? All of his sponsors started to back out. And people who had booked him for shows were now canceling. And so, you know, we saw that in real time. What happens when there's something negative happening around an artist.
Go ahead and tell the world I'm ugly and racist. I braid my hair and I don't care about cultural appropriation. I moved to the ghetto, lived in the ghetto, there's no Caucasians. And still I loved every single one of my neighbors. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are made. But I ain't tripping.
Yeah, that kind of goes to the question we just answered as far as, you know, how do you market yourself if you're an independent artist? So, you know, where Tom very much is just, I'm going to do what I want, I'm going to say what I want, and in fact, he doubles down on it, right? He uses it to propel just kind of conversation about him. If you hate him, if you love him, people are talking about him. And for him, that's a great thing. He doesn't care. No, I'm sure he doesn't care at this point. But in any case, so that was canceled. I want to do the music industry because that's what started it all. So let me see if I can find that one. But you know, like I said, one of the coolest things was just getting to know some of his fans, and they are just some of the most diehard fans. I think of like all the ones that came across our channel in support of the artists that they love. All right, so top music attorney. It's funny, like Tom MacDonald, music industry. All right, here we go. Load this up. I'm gonna get past the commercials. We don't have to watch that together. Promoting skin brand. Oh, look at my hair. My hair is all cute in this. You guys are gonna love it. 20 people after we post this. Your hair is trash. Please don't say that. All right, here we go.
Outfield.
You get taken advantage of if you take deals, right? So he's making this broad statement about the music industry that you're going to be taken advantage of no matter what. Now, there's no question that in the music business, it's absolutely one-sided in 99% of the cases because a lot of artists go into these deals and they don't get attorneys, they don't get their contracts reviewed, and they just sign whatever it is that someone hands to them. And remember, record labels are just people. So when you're like, oh, this record label is going to make me a big star, you're just taking a gamble on a person. That the story that they're telling you of what they're going to do for you is true, and then most people don't even read the contracts. So there's a reason why a lot of people end up getting taken advantage of because they just don't even know what their contracts say from the jump.
You get you chains and a bracelet, maybe a fake grill. You get you paid and you're famous, baby, it ain't real. Couple milli think you made it, but the record label take it when you overdose on alcohol and pain pills. Give me.
All right, so the record label takes it when you overdose on pain pills, and you know, there's kind of this, I wouldn't say myth, but I know that a lot of people talk about these insurance policies that record labels were taking on artists and different acts for a long time. It was industry standard. Now, I do these big deals, right? I work with the major labels, I represent independent artists, and so I know what they look like, and insurance policies aren't that common anymore, but they used to be. And what they were was basically the record label had an insurance policy on, let's say, a rapper. So even when that rapper died for whatever reason, which was also very common, we had these guys who were dying at young age because of gang wars and overdoses, that, you know, the record labels were still making their money because they got a big payout from these insurance policies. So not that he said that specifically, but reading between the lines, that's what I think he's talking about. And, you know, a part of the question is, do record labels even go so far as to intentionally look the other way when they know that their artists have substance abuse problems, are actively putting themselves in danger? Because if something happens to that artist, guess what? Not only is there an insurance policy in place, but album sales tend to go up when an artist passes for whatever reason. Read that contract very carefully, which is a sentiment you're going to hear me say probably a couple times in this video, but even on top of that, have a will. have it written down somewhere of what you want to have happen to your music and your estate when you pass.
A pen in the pad, I'm gonna get in the lab, I'm gonna kill him with tracks, I'ma deliver the facts, nobody holding me back, labels are tricking the fans, rappers are industry plans, everything planned, I ain't brain dead, never signed a deal, it don't make sense, never let a label manipulate what I've made yet, invading the industry, independently I break in, kill the gatekeepers with a blaze, leave the gate bent, mainstream rappers see the fame, wanna break bread, so lame for sale, never sell out trying to pay rent, Illuminati puppets the industry, hail Satan, the devil making deals, I won't shake hands, independent, underrated, these other rappers all hate it, going viral with no label.
If you haven't caught it at this point, he's obviously just saying how proud he is that he broke through these barriers and he didn't need to get to these gatekeepers and, you know, to kind of play the game. So I think he's really doubling down on the fact that he did all of this as an independent artist. And I think at the time of recording this video, I think he has something like 3 million followers on YouTube alone. So, I mean, that's quite the testament to someone who's done this by himself.
With no manager.
You know, and I'll add on top of that too, that I hope that, you know, for Tom MacDonald and anyone who's kind of been able to just do it themselves, I don't care what level you're at. When you feel that sense of independence and you're doing it yourself and you're learning the business, whether you have like 2 followers or 2 million followers, there's a feeling that kind of comes within you of just empowerment and not feeling lost. And that is so special, so amazing. That's why I'm always teaching my students, just build your own business, just do your own thing. If you find partners, if you find a label, you want to do all that, cool. But in the meantime, you should be learning all this stuff yourself. So I hope that for the level that he's at, and the fact that even though he is still kind of a controversial artist, so therefore he's constantly dealing with the fire that comes with that him, Nova, they're feeling good, they're loving life, they found their happy spot, because you also find that people will get to these levels of incredible success and they hate life. And they're so depressed. And, you know, so that's why I just say it doesn't matter if you are super successful or just starting. It's very much where you're at in your headspace. So in any case, let's go back to it.
Agent call my mama, I got comments and the money going crazy, and she crying trying to tell me that she's happy for a baby, like, ooh, hey, finally got that.
And his girlfriend, Nova, does his videos. I don't know if you guys know that. All right, so it sounds like he got what was I saying about, like, they did something wrong in the contract, like the contract. Oh, right. So I was kind of being a little bit of a tease. I can't help myself. So in this video, before knowing anything about Tom or whatever, I was just reacting. I'm always going to be honest. But the contract in the video is actually signed. And the whole thing of what he's saying, at least, or my perception of the lyrics, is I'm not going to sign the deal. I'm independent. I'm all this stuff. And I was like, oh, look at that. The contract that he signed is right there. He did sign it. So in any case, a record label deal or offer, which isn't uncommon, guys. I mean, these days where it used to be, you know, you pick out someone from obscurity and you make them into a pop princess, and that used to be how it was in the music industry. Now artists have to basically do it themselves. They have to get their own fan following and shows and releases and all this stuff. And then when they're at a level of success, that's when you start hearing from the record labels. And you'll usually hear from quite a few of them at once. That's true.
Stealing people's dreams, how can you sleep? It's all rap hoes, throwing cash in Lambos. I'm independent till I'm dead, I quit the music industry. Artists really only want to chase dreams. We're broke all our lives begging labels, please take me. Tricked us into thinking getting deals is a great thing. Spend our whole careers trying to break free.
I like what he's saying, and the analogy that I like to use is, you know, this light at the end of the tunnel is the thing that artists want so badly. And we all think that the record labels are going to make us big stars, but what we don't realize is that that light is an oncoming train. And so in the same kind of way, Tom's just saying, you know, careful what you ask for, because it's not going to be good. And he's obviously phrasing this as these deals will take advantage of you. You're not going to make money, and you're just going to kind of get abused in this relationship.
The fans said they love us, trying to give them music they need. Label doesn't like it, that ain't mainstream. You're looking in the mirror like, what happened, man? This ain't me. I guess that I just don't see what they see. Give me a mic in the booth.
All right, so that's just talking about creative control. Okay, so as an artist, you can go and make the music that you want, but you still have to deliver it to your label, and the label has to approve it. Labels always have the final decision making when it comes to the business stuff, which is, are we going to release this? Is this a commercial product? Is it going to do well? Yes, they do. And this is something we talked about when we did a reaction video to Nova's song, because Nova's been very vocal, and she had on her website different, you know, blogs that she had done, just talking about how she was signed. She's pumping out all this music, and like little to nothing was getting through. She's like, I was writing for years, and they released like one song. But in any case, she just goes, and that's because you're not in charge when you're not actually the company, the label. Now, I do not villainize record labels because there are record labels of many sizes and there are different teams and people running the labels. But what I do kind of say is you got to understand what you're doing because I help clients and students to build their own companies, to become their own record labels. It's so empowering and you need to do it because you learn how to do the business, how to own the stuff, right? How to make money. But I'm just saying, if you're going to go and entrust it to someone else, know what the contract says, get an attorney, right? These are things that are incredibly important. So you put in all this hard work, you create the thing that you love, and the label says, I'm not going to release this. And he goes that, we can't feel good about ourselves looking in the mirror because we can't be our authentic artistic selves. Now, on the flip side, from the perspective of the record labels, their job is to find something that's working, pour gas on the fire, and to help accelerate it. And so for a label, they might come back and just say, I don't think this is going to work in the market. And here are the reasons why. And we have experience. And of course, they're the business people, right? They think that they're smarter than artists. And they might be in some instances. It's a very difficult thing to weigh because you have to think and understand that you're doing a business deal with another company. And that's all this is. And so understanding you're giving away some of your power as an artist is what Tom's talking about here. But you just, you have to go into it a little more with your eyes open to understand that if you're going to do these deals, it's cool. Some people are incredibly successful working with record labels, but understand what you're giving up. Understand what you're giving up, indeed. So I did, like I said, there's 3 music videos. We did the Billboard stuff this year. So there's a lot of Tom MacDonald. If you're into it, check it out on the channel. And you can get the full videos there. Now, before we go into our artist tip, that Orko, were there any videos, anything specifically that you wanted to recap, talk about? What were you excited about this year?
Just excited for the lives and the different things that, we were able to focus on. I really liked, as far as your music video reactions, I really liked your Rosalia music video reaction. I thought the Skrillex one was really fun. Some of my favorite, news stories, big topics, the Kate Bush story that we were following with running up that hill, just becoming a huge smash again from the Stranger Things placement and just kind of getting more into the placement talk and sync licensing and things like that. I really like talking about Khalees, the Beyonce story, because, just being able to talk about Khalees, who's one of my favorite artists, of course, all the Kanye controversy that's happened all throughout the year.
All throughout the year.
Not even just the stuff that's happened, over the last couple of weeks and, months or whatever, but just all year. It's just nonstop. But most of all, I really like doing the New Music Fridays. I got to highlight some of my favorite bands. We got to talk about, one of my favorite bands, Biss. We talked about Mojave Phone Booth, Yuna. We got to focus on Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum, which was really fun. And just highlighting just some of the cool music that's kind of going out, and even talking about some of the independent artists that were kind of been killing it this year. It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so excited for next year. Like I said, our intention is always we want to grow the community. We want to focus on, educating you guys, helping you with your music careers, entertaining you. That's important to me. I love it when we can do stuff that you find entertaining, but also educational. And it's been cool because I really wanted to be able to have a portion of the show where I was just actually talking with that Orko because he is just so part of kind of infusing the creativity and the inspiration, because this is what we do anyway. He's always like, did you hear this story? Did you hear this story?
Right.
And then we talk about it. And there was one day I was just like, why aren't we doing this for our podcast? And then he was a little reluctant because he's not like, I want to be on camera. Let's make me part of the show. They don't care about me. And I'm like, you're wrong. So guys, for those of you watching, if you could leave something nice, because I would like this just to use this as a moment for the end of the year recap to thank you for all of your effort and hard work that Orko makes the show amazingly helpful. And thank you to our team.
It's so much fun to do. And I was about to say, and just shout out to our team that has been helping us all year. It's for a long time the process literally was just myself and Miss Krystle doing everything. And one of the things that we teach you on this channel is how to grow your team and getting yourself to a position where you can afford to hire a team, the different things that you go through when you hire or when you get your family or you get your friends to kind of help you out, and the difference from that between actually hiring people to actually work for you and kind of get things done. And I will say that our team has just been incredible. We have the best team that we have ever had, and we've had changing team members throughout the years and trying to find it. And it's always important to just always be taking a look at your team and refining it and getting it super strong. Yeah, and I mean, just even that, and just really getting our team honed in with our music creation. We've been working on music a lot lately. We released our song "Secret" a couple weeks ago. We are about, I don't know if you heard, but I approved the mix. I don't know if you approved the mix or if you had any more notes, but I think we have another mix completely done for the next song that's coming out, and it's just been awesome. Like I love our community. I love the mission of the channel, like to help artists. Was an artist, and if I knew a tenth of what I know now, then I don't even know where I would have been. So I just appreciate the opportunity to even be a part of it and to speak with you guys. It's fun.
We love you. Okay, but of course, I'm gonna leave you with some knowledge, so we're gonna kick that Orko
All right.
out. Thank you, sir.
You guys, everybody have a great year. Make sure that you subscribe. Again, in the meantime, this is the last live show. There's content still coming out the rest of the year. It's going to be more like edited content and stuff like that, but we're going to have some reaction videos. And of course, you can always check out the podcast, the audio version, which there are weekly. We're doing like 2 episodes a week on being released on that. So just wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure that you follow that. Oh, where did she go? I'll use this opportunity to also plug, she's talking a lot about how the mission is to help you build your music businesses. So, she has built this course called How to Build a Record Label. Even though it's called How to Build a Record Label, it's really for artists and music businesses and setting yourself up as a music business, as an artist. And that could be, you're a DJ, you're a guitar player, you are a singer, you're a rapper, producer, engineer, mixing engineer, mastering it. Like, there's something in this for you, and it's just such an incredible course. And again, like, just the knowledge that she is able to pack into this thing to help you set up your business, from setting up your LLC to getting your music and TV and film to getting all the contracts that you need. Like, the artist collaboration agreement is just like crazy. Like, that artists are not using this. Everybody is doing collabs, everybody is doing stuff. How do you know who's releasing it? How do you know who's in control? Who's getting the money?
This is what happens when I
It's
refresh. I come in, he's doing a full promo.
I'm just
Thank
I'm
you.
just saying, like, it's an incredible thing that you've put together with this course, and
Yeah,
we've
I'm
had
excited, and it's
love
been
our
so
students.
fun with our students, and it's so cool. It's gonna be a great year. So, with
All
that
right,
being said,
guys, have a good year, rest of your year, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
hey, all right, let me pull this over. Hopefully, how is this? 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So one thing I noticed when we were doing or watching all the videos from earlier this year is that I noticed earlier in the year I was very hoarse. I was very like strainy in my speaking voice. Now we've been on the show now for over an hour, so I'm a little scratchy. Okay, you're gonna have to forgive me, but I wasn't as bad as some of those videos, and I'm excited as a singer, as a talker. That's a good thing. How to legally do cover songs. I'm an independent artist, I'm a record label owner, I'm an entertainment attorney, and I help people to build their music businesses. So, if that sounds good to you, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, let's jump into it. Cover songs are fantastic ways to market yourself. Okay, think about it. The way that this is working is we are giving someone something they already like, and then we're giving them an opportunity to hear your voice, your style, your production, to get to know you. So it's a very nice kind of soft way to get in their ear, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, her voice is great. Oh my gosh, his, scream is great. I love this. And then they'll dive in a little bit deeper. What can happen with original music is that now you have to sell them on you as well as the thing, right? The song, the composition, all the stuff. So that's why cover songs are a really good marketing tool, helps you to build an audience. And so it's something that I have incorporated into my music career. I do it a lot, and I know a lot of people do it as well. So that's why we are doing this video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about getting the music on YouTube and DSPs, which are the music platforms. Okay, DSP is digital service provider like Spotify. So wherever you're watching this, the information basically in the video is practical. How do we do it? But some of the stuff I do mention is subject to US copyright law. You still want to know all the stuff because this is how it works, like regardless of where you're at. Okay? How it works for YouTube. You post the video to YouTube, okay? And you might be someone who just did a quick song in your bedroom, or you just did an acapella. Whatever your version of the cover song is, you do a video, you post it. You're going to get a video, or not a video, you're going to get an email. You're going to get an email from YouTube saying, hey, this label, this publishing company is monetizing your video. Okay? That's usually all it is. Usually they're not getting strikes anymore. And I'll explain why. But what that means is that the label or the publishing company is going to collect your money. Okay? So sad face. You're not going to make money on the video, but you're also using someone else's song, technically without permission, right? So if it's a cover, usually, like I said, there's no problem. They're collecting. That's it. Now, if you sampled, that's where this gets really hairy and everyone should run out of the building that's on fire. If it's a sample, meaning it's actually a thing from the original song, it's a vocal, it's instrumental, it's the guitar loop, there's something in your version that is from that actual song that's called a sample, you can't do that and you might get a strike. Okay? It's a real no-no. You might get a block, you might get all kinds of bad things happening. I talk about the differences of sampling on the channel. Do some searches, you'll find some good stuff. So that's getting it on YouTube. When it comes to getting it on music platforms, okay, we're going to register an account with a DIY music distribution company. Okay, it's going to be the ones I talk about a lot on the channel are CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, and I've done collabs and worked with a lot of these companies as an artist myself. Those are ones that are great. But in any case, the way it used to be, you get a mechanical license, right? So it's like an automatic license that allows us to do cover songs. We used to get them through Harry Fox Agency, through Easy Song licensing. And basically, if you went to a music distributor, often the music distributor would say, hey, you're doing a cover song. I need your mechanical license in order to distribute the song to all the music platforms. Things have changed. It's easier. Keep watching. So now what's happened is there's an organization called the Mechanical Licensing Collective since January of 2021. This company basically is like making it rain with administrative blanket licensing with all of the platforms like Spotify, right? All the DSPs. And so basically they have a deal where they're like, we're going to have the deal with you platform to make sure that the publishers, the songwriters who made the actual songs that you're covering, to make sure that they get paid. Because we're finding that people aren't getting the mechanical licenses and we need to make sure everyone gets paid. So, quick pro note, if you are a songwriter and people using your songs, you got to make sure you're registered on the Mechanical Licensing Collective because that's how you get paid. But in any case, for the people making the cover songs, you don't need a mechanical license anymore. Yay. It just got a whole lot easier for us. The only exception is going to be if you're still making things like CDs or vinyls. Okay, it's not covered. You still got to get the license for that. For 99.9% of you, you're just releasing digitally. So it's already kind of done for you. Yay. Now, what about the video components, you ask? You didn't ask that, but you need to know this. So going back to the YouTube, you just upload it. It's a pretty easy process. No real problems are going to come up, typically. But it's only because labels and publishers have deals with YouTube so that they collect your money. Because technically what you're supposed to do, excuse me, technically what you're supposed to do is to not only get the mechanical license, but you have to get what's called a synchronization license. So it says you got to take the song and you got to sync it to the video, which means you now need to get extra permission. And since no one's actually doing that, and it's easier for these companies to come and just collect your money, right? Because you're promoting their songs, that's what they've done. But you are technically supposed to be getting the sync licenses. Now, because most of the world, to promote their cover songs, to promote their music, are uploading these videos to YouTube, the fact that those agreements are in place is a great thing. It's going to help you stay protected so you're not going to get sued because, quite frankly, a lot of these labels aren't going to sue you because it's going to cost the label $50,000 to sue you, and then they're not going to be able to collect because we're starving artists and we can't pay, right? So if you want to learn how to basically do all this stuff yourself to be your own label, right? I have a course. I'll help you out. I'll teach you how to become your own label. Link down in the description below. All right, guys, let me go back here. Now, I saw a question that I think I missed. It's very important that I answer your questions while we're on this. C. If you lease a beat, how do you copyright this song and make on the beat? Great question. If you are leasing the beat, you can go and copyright that song. The only thing that you can't claim is the actual instrumental. So when you register, and I have a video on Top Music Attorney on how to do your own copyright applications. But in any case, when you do it yourself, it will be like, what are you claiming you own? And so what you don't want is to say you own the instrumental, because you don't, right? So actually it's pretty easy. You just say, this is the stuff that I am not including. Yay! I love you guys when you check in like way later in the show and you remember. I always want to know where you're checking in from. You're the best. All right. Oh, and we had other people wondering the same question. I hope that answered the question. That's right. Yes, I've made videos as far as, and I think I did it specific to BeatStar. I think that's right. But this was recent. So we did a video just kind of talking about when you are doing a beat license, what's in it, what you need to know. So the answer is yes, we did do it. Just kind of do a search of the channel and you will find it. All right, so I think we should end on a video because this is it. This feels very dramatic and emotional. Maybe more so than it needs to be, but you know what? I love you guys, and this has been the thing. This has been like a huge investment of time and energy, and it's been cool because that Orko and I were talking about this. We're like, the people who actually watch the entire show are kind of MVPs. Like, we really love you guys when you hang in the entire show, and you're here at the very end, and I'm like, my voice is gone. I can't speak anymore. I can't think anymore. And you're all here and you're just amazing. And I just appreciate you so much. I just want to make sure that I made that very clear because as we go into the next year, I have big goals. I want to explode this channel. I want this thing to grow substantially. And, for me, as different social media have kind of really taken off and things are going well, I always remember the ones that were there in the beginning. And you only get one time to kind of be at certain levels, right? Once you kind of excel and you go and you go and you go, it's amazing. I'm having such a fun time, but I really enjoy those and appreciate you guys when you're down in the mud with me. Okay, we have choices. We could do Middle of the Night, Save Yourself, Blinding Lights, or Secret. So Middle of the Night is what I'm going to go with because Middle of the Night was just one of those things that even for me as an artist, there was a question earlier in the show on how do you market yourself? Well, if you ever want to see just how the hell you can try a bunch of shit, feel free to, follow Miss Krystle, which is more of my music stuff. And you'll see, I'll do outfits, I'll do transitions, I'll do all kinds of things because I'm always trying stuff. And I'll try like 20 different things and maybe some of them completely fail, some of them do really well. You never know. So the point just being that on Middle of the Night this year, this was the first time that I really pushed before the release, which is that Orko and I have never really done that. We always waited until the song was out, and then we did a big push campaign. And this time, I actually spent like a month, I think, leading up to it, and just tons of posting and teasing. I had you guys help me pick the cover art, and you were like really part of the process, which was so fun for me. So not only was it kind of like just showing that's cool, you can do it, nothing bad's gonna happen if you're pre-promoting your song, it's probably a good thing. But it was nice just to kind of challenge myself and to challenge my team to do this, and it all worked out great. Hey, what's up, Florida? All right, so we're gonna watch Middle of the Night. I'm gonna be in the chat. Of course, we'll still be releasing stuff throughout the end of this year. We'll be on the socials every day because that's what we do. But I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. Have a great Boxing Day. Have a great New Year's. I'm like punching my mic. Don't punch your mic. And I love your faces. So, Mr. That Orko, let's do it. Bye, guys.
I summoned you, please come. fill you up, drink from my cup. Within me lies what you really want. Come, lay me down, 'cause you know this, 'cause you know this. So in the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, just call my name, I'm yours to take. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, I'm wide awake, I crave your taste all night long, till morning comes. I'm getting what is mine, you gon' get yours, so no. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, oh no. These burning flames, these crashing waves wash over me like a hurricane. I captivate, you're hypnotized, feel bad.